One of the questions I hear a lot is, how do I develop my own style? My photographs feel like everyone else's, or worse, my photographs don't feel like anybody's, including my own. Well, there's actually a very simple reason for that, and once you understand what's really happening, everything starts to make a lot more sense. One of the most disappointing feelings in photography, especially early on, is spending the time to pack your gear, head out and take a ton of photographs, only to come home, look through them, maybe even edit them, and still feel disappointed because they don't look or feel the way that you wanted them to. And I think every photographer goes through that in the beginning. They see all these incredible photographs on Instagram or on the internet or even hanging in galleries, and they assume that there must be some magical ingredient that they're missing, something these other photographers have that they don't. And honestly, I went through exactly the same thing. There are some of my photographs I thought were good when I first started out, but very quickly I realised I didn't actually like them. Not because they were technically wrong, they just didn't make me feel anything, and ultimately that's what photography is really about, creating emotion, creating feeling and creating impact. But like most problems, if you don't understand what's causing it, it becomes this endless cycle of frustration. And the good news is, at its heart, it's actually much simpler than most people think. Style is defined in the Oxford Dictionary as the particular way in which something is done. And what we can take from that is that everybody is different. What works for one person might not work for someone else. But regardless of what your style eventually becomes, it will be based on two different things. One, how you take your photographs, and two, how you edit and present your photographs. Now, I've said this before, but you can almost think of photography as having two sides to it. The science of the photograph and the art of the photograph. Although honestly, I would argue that the way you take your photographs contains a fair amount of art as well. So let's look at each one individually. Photography skills are built through repetition, and sometimes we all just need a little reminder to pick up the camera and head back out again. So if you'd like some weekly inspiration, photography tips and advice designed specifically for photographers over 50, then make sure you subscribe to my weekly newsletter. Not only will it help you grow as a photographer, but when you sign up, you also get a completely free ebook created specifically for us older people. Well, we're not that old. I'll leave a link in the description. The second part of the equation that we need to look at now is how we edit our photographs. And this is where you can really start to put your own personal stamp on your work. A good way to think about this is that two photographers could take exactly the same photograph with the same camera and the same settings, and their raw images would broadly look identical. But where these photographs begin to differ is in the edit, and that's why it's such a pivotal step in the process. But honestly, it's nowhere near as difficult as people think. So don't be scared of editing, don't put it off, jump in with both feet, because once you get comfortable with it, this can actually become one of the most exciting parts of photography. Now, there are a lot of photographers who start out with the intention of never editing their photographs. They shoot in JPEG instead of RAW, and honestly, that's absolutely fine. But what you have to realise is that a JPEG already has a look applied to it. Your camera decided how colourful it is, how much contrast there is, and how sharp it appears. In other words, it already has a style, it's just not your style. And that's why I think you should always shoot in RAW, because it's an unprocessed, untouched image just waiting for you to bring out the magic. So I'm going to make a couple of assumptions here, and that is that you already know how to use your camera, you know what lens you're going to use, and you're fairly familiar with the settings on your camera. And if you're not, I have plenty of videos on the channel that can help you with that. But still, for me, when it comes to actually pressing the shutter button, it comes down to three main things. One, how creatively you use your aperture. Two, the height at which you take your shot. And three, how you compose the image and where you place the things within that photograph. These are the three areas that I think everybody should think about if they're just starting out. For example, I like to shoot almost wide open at f2.8 on most of my landscape photographs. And what that does is it gives me a blurred foreground and a blurred background while still retaining sharpness on the main focal point of the photograph. And again, that's an artistic choice. You might prefer to get everything sharp from front to back, so you might close your aperture down to f8 or f11 to create a sharper image throughout. And again, that will then become part of your style. And the second part, that's the height that you take your shot at. If you stand at eye level, which as you know I'm a huge advocate against, you get a very normal looking perspective, and personally I like to get down low because it adds gravitas to the subject, brings more of the foreground into the frame, and when coupled with an open aperture it gives me that lovely blurred foreground. And finally, the third part, the composition of the photograph. Where do you place things? Do you want to use the subject right in the middle of the frame so it becomes the hero of the shot? Or do you want to place it off to the side to create intrigue and story? Do you want to use symmetry or any of the other compositional techniques that help you build a photograph? When I first started out, and honestly I'd recommend this to anybody starting photography, I used the rule of thirds a lot. It helped me balance my images, place subjects more intentionally, and create photographs that felt considered without having to overthink every shot. And if you're not sure what the rule of thirds is, I'll link a video that explains it properly. But from these three components, I've essentially made the major creative choices behind how I want my photograph to look and feel. Now don't get me wrong, there are obviously other things like shutter speed, time of day, weather and so on, but at its heart, these three things have had the single biggest impact on me developing my own style and how I take my photographs. So get out there, experiment and start thinking consciously about the choices and how they change the feel of your photographs. Now if you're intimidated by editing and you don't really know where to begin, then this is where presets can actually be really useful. And depending on the software that you use, there will probably already be presets built into it. Lightroom, for example, comes with a ton of them, but I'm going to be honest, not many of them are brilliant. But what they do is they give you different ideas, different moods, and different directions for your photograph. I flick through them all the time as an inspirational step, because every now and again you'll click on one and think, yeah, that's exactly what I had in mind. Now I don't usually use the preset itself. I use it as a reference point or a starting point, almost like an idea generator, so that before I start editing, I have a rough idea of what the end point is going to be. And honestly, that in itself is a really good tip. Before you start editing, get your photograph up on the screen, grab a coffee and sit back and ask yourself, what is it I'm actually trying to achieve here? What kind of photograph is this going to be? Is it dark and moody? Is it bright and airy? Is it full of colour or is it black and white? Because once you have some sort of direction in your head, the editing process becomes much easier. If you just sit there dragging sliders around to see what happens, you'll waste a lot of time, and honestly, the end result probably won't be that great. Now I know this video is about developing your style, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with using somebody else's ideas whilst you're still learning. And that's basically what a preset is. Think of it this way. If you ever played in a band, you probably started out by learning other bands' songs. Not because you wanted to be that band, but because you were learning your instrument. And the more songs you learned, the more techniques, structures and ideas you had to draw on when it came to writing your own music. And photography is exactly the same. Studying somebody else's editing style teaches you techniques and ideas and approaches that you can eventually adapt and reshape to something that feels like your own. So don't discount presets. They're just another tool in your arsenal. This is the part that I got wrong when it came to style. I thought it was something that I would suddenly discover one day. Like a switch would flip and all of a sudden my photographs would become uniquely mine. But honestly, that's rarely, if ever, how it works. What I eventually realised is that my style developed gradually over time through repetition and preference. I started noticing that I naturally photograph certain subjects more than others. I found myself favouring certain focal lengths, certain colours, moods, and certain compositions. Even the way I edited my photographs started becoming more consistent without me even noticing it. And the more I photographed, the more those patterns began repeating themselves. And that's when my style slowly started to emerge. Not because I forced it, not because I sat down and invented it, but because over time, my photographs started becoming a reflection of the things I personally enjoyed seeing and creating. And that's why I don't think you should rush this process. Experiment, try different things, shoot different subjects, edit in different ways, because every single photograph you take teaches you a little bit more about what resonates with you and what doesn't. And the day you realise you've finally found your style, trust me, you found it long before that. You just hadn't noticed yet. So we've spoken about two different aspects of photography and developing your style in this video. The the artistic side, which is your editing, and the technical side, which is how you actually take your photographs. And if you're struggling with either of those, then I've specifically written 2 ebooks that focus on these exact fundamentals. One covers composition and how you build your structure and your photographs, and the other focuses on how to consistently take sharp photographs. These were honestly the 2 areas that had the single biggest impact on my own photography, once I understood them and started applying them properly to every image I took. So if you want to improve much faster, then this would be a really good place to start. I'll leave links to them in the description below, and if you decide to pick up both, well, there's a 20% discount available right now. And if you found this video helpful and want to learn a little bit more about starting photography at our age, then I'd recommend watching this video here next. Thanks for watching, guys. And as always, I will see you in the next one.